everyone, and welcome back to Queen of Horror. In today's video, I wanted to say thank you to all of you for 1,000 subscribers and finally come on and talk about my story and what happened to me as a kid. Now, I saw things for the majority of my childhood. I'm sorry if I do get breathless during this video. My heart does tend to pound when I talk about this, so yeah, everything gets really heavy and I can't breathe properly most of the time. So it started when I was too young to really remember. I don't remember anything about that time of my life. All I remember is this one night. I think it was before my parents' divorce, so I don't even remember that, so I was extremely young. I remember waking up and I saw hands coming out of the walls trying to grab me. And I screamed and my mum came in. When she came in, all the hands disappeared. But, I mean, I was so shocked at what I saw, I knew it wasn't normal. But eventually I forgot all about it. And then the next time I saw something was at my grandparents' house. Me and my sister were staying the night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't see my sister. She was just on the floor in front of me, but I didn't see her at the time. So I got up to go ask my grandparents where she was, and I got out of bed and I turned around and there was like a child on my bed. I couldn't make out any features. It was just literally just a shadow laying on my bed, and it was making, like, you know how you make snow angels in the snow? It was doing that in my blankets. To me, that was really creepy, just knowing I wasn't supposed to be seeing that. And then I don't know how long it was after that. Those were the first 2 times I saw anything. I'd see bits and pieces in the corner of my eye, but nothing huge, until one day it seemed to just crash down on me. We went out. I think we were going to go get the groceries. On our way there, I saw a woman crossing the road, and she was pale, raggedy, muddy. She had like an old torn dress on, and she was stumbling across the road. And I was gonna point it out to my sister, but then I sort of thought twice, and I thought that that might not be what I'm seeing. Like, it might not be really there. So I didn't point it out, and we got to the shops. And when I was walking into the shops, I saw a man in a car, and he was glitching. He was in and out of reality. So I tried to brush that off. We went into the grocery store, bought food. We were at the checkout. I saw a woman in this really big ball gown, like it was a really old style ball gown, and she had a big heart necklace on, and I really liked her necklace, and I said to my sister, "Hey, look at that woman's necklace." When I turned around again, she was gone. I told my sister that she must have just left, but I knew that she wouldn't have left that soon. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that she was really overdressed for a grocery store. And see, I still don't remember very much about that time. I was still very young at that point. I do remember that is where things got more intense. I started to hear things, and that was when the fear sort of came in. And I started to get scared regularly because I thought something was going to happen. I was going to hear something. And I remember the first wake-up call to me that it was happening frequently. Like, I frequently hear bumps in the night and light switches going on and off. But this one point, I was really scared. And I heard the TV going in the lounge room. And so I got up to go find my mum. And when I got out there, the TV was off. There was no one there. My mum was asleep. And I'll never forget that realization that obviously it was something else that made that sound, and I had just walked directly to it. I was probably in the same room as it. And yeah, it was it was a big wake-up call that something really wasn't right. I wasn't hearing things properly or seeing things properly, and I think that was at the point when I started to talk to people, my family members, and ask them what to do, and then they tried to help by telling me maybe I'm just gifted, or it's just my imagination or things like that, but no matter how much someone would tell me it was inside my head, it didn't make things any less real for me. So yeah, I did experience some things with my sister, which was really comforting to know that someone else experienced it with me. I think around the next point, I mean, I'm not going into every single detail of what I saw, because there was a lot of things that I saw and heard, but the major things is what I'm going to be pointing out in this video. The next big thing that happened was me and my sister were in separate rooms. We were trying to be big kids. We were constantly scared, so we were constantly in my mum's bed, so we were trying to sleep on our own, and we both started hearing, well, I heard a bouncing ball outside, and it really scared me because it sounded so close to our bedroom window. And my sister was hearing something too. She never really said what she was hearing. I'm guessing it was the same thing, but she called me into her room. I went into her room and we were crying and cuddling on the bed, and she said we were going to make a run for my mum's room, which was like directly around the corner. And then as you left our room, there was a toilet, and then there was my mum's room. So we were going to go right to my mum's room, and she put me behind her, and she's walked out of the room, and as soon as we've left the room, the toilet has flushed. And we could see directly in that there was nobody there because the toilet light was on. And it just flushed as literally the second we left the room. And that was a big indicator that what I was seeing was real, and it made things so much more terrifying. I remember this one night, my sister and I had magazines all over the floor, and we went to bed with them all laying out, so there was paper magazines everywhere, and I was having my scared things again. I was pretty much scared every single night, but I was waiting for something to happen, and something did. I started to hear crunching, the papers crunching on the ground, like something was crawling over top of them. And my dog was at my feet, and my sister was lying next to me, so whatever was in my room wasn't, like, obviously my mum wouldn't be crawling through my bedroom, so it wasn't something that was supposed to be there. And I remember just being scared stiff, and I was just, like, I couldn't move. I was so scared. And so I didn't actually look. I don't know if I would have seen something. I don't know if it was something walking through the room and I just couldn't see it, or if there was something crawling and I would have seen it if I had looked, but I didn't look. And I'm pretty glad that I didn't, because I don't want to know what I would have seen if I did look. The next big thing that happened, I'd say, would be I started waking up and hearing numbers being yelled at me, and it was hundreds, up to 900, and then they just repeat. I'd wake up, I'd hear that, and then things would start going and fast forward. And I remember this one night, I think it was the first night this actually happened to me, my mum came into the room, and she was trying to cheer me up. She didn't know what was wrong, and she was trying to help, but everything she was doing was just making it worse because she was moving so fast. I was terrified, and I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know how to stop it. And it was the most terrifying thing I had felt back then. And then I sort of got the hang of it, and I just learnt whenever this would happen, I had to go to bed, and I had to just sleep through it. And I did look up on it. I didn't find a lot, but there is some sort of condition. I don't know what it's called anymore, but it could be brought on by a traumatic event. So if that's true, then this whole ordeal was that traumatic for me that it caused me to suffer this mental condition. But the next big thing that happened to me is probably the most terrifying for me to relive. I was obviously scared again, and I decided to sleep in my mum's room, and I heard a click in the kitchen, and the first thing I thought was just, calm down, it's just the house shifting. Then I heard a click in the hallway, and I thought it was weird, but I tried to just rationalize it. And then I heard a click at my mum's bedroom door. I didn't want to see what was about to come through that door, so I covered my head with my blankets. I was under there for like 10 minutes, and I didn't hear anything, so I thought it was safe to come out. And when I did, I saw a little girl at the bottom of my bed. She had long blonde hair. It was over her face. It looked wet. She was really pale, and she had a white dress on. And she just sat there and stared at me. and it was just something about this little girl that felt so sinister, and just how she looked like she just crawled out of a horror movie. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a ghost. All she did was just stare, and the more I think about it, the more I feel like this whole thing wasn't a ghost experience. I feel like the whole thing was more so a demonic thing, because it felt like it fed off my fear, and people would tell me not to fear it, but I mean, how do you switch off fear? I've never known how to do that. And it felt like the more I feared it, the more it happened. And yeah, well, this little girl, she stared at me for hours until I ended up falling asleep because I couldn't stay awake anymore, and then she was gone. And not long after, I went to my dad's house and was swinging on his swing, and I heard a laugh. And at the time I was watching Ghost Whisperer, and I thought, hey, it would be really cool if I could talk to ghosts. And so I went, is anybody there? And no one replied, and I assumed it was just the neighbours or something, so I decided to swing again. And when I went forward and I went back, I looked down, and directly behind me I saw the little girl's feet, and I can't even tell you how I got off that swing. I don't know what I did to get off that swing. I just know I got off very, very quick. And as I was running in, I looked behind me and there was nobody there. But I know I saw that girl's feet there as clear as day. And it still freaks me out to think about it. The last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the last few times I had encounters with whatever this was. It slowed down a lot. And one night my sister came home from a night of partying, whatever she was doing, and she knocked on my window so I could go get my mum. I woke up, I looked out my window, went and got my mum, and she let her in, and everything was fine until I went back to bed and I overheard my sister and my mum talking. And my sister said there's something wrong with Keisha. And when my mum asked what, she told her that when she knocked on the window, I sat up, but I didn't move. And I sat there for like 10 minutes until I finally turned around, and when I thought back on it, I could picture seeing the floor, and I felt like I was looking at the floor, but I wasn't moving. And okay, that could come down to me being really tired, but in that situation, it really terrified me, and still does, just thinking if something could have had a hold of me. The last ever thing that happened to me was in my bathroom. I got up early to go to school, and I went for a shower. And when I got out of the shower, I heard someone singing. It was like a bum 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 bum. Really weird tune, but my mum does that when she's happy. And I thought it was my mum, so I've poked my head out, and my mum was still in bed. And I've looked up that way, which was the hallway, and the laundry was like right there, right near my head as I was peeking out. I heard something from the laundry just go, bum, like it was literally taunting me, and I jumped back into the bathroom and locked myself in there until my mum woke up, and I was sure she woke up. That is the last thing that ever happened to me, I think. I mean, I did hear little bits and bobs here and there, but it was like it just faded away. I hadn't seen anything for a long time before that. So yes, that is the main part of what happened to me as a kid. If you want another video explaining all the other things that I did see, then I will do that. I may also make a video of what I recently saw, which was really creepy. I haven't seen anything for a long time, so for me to see something now is very eerie. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like and subscribe. I will leave a subscribe button right here, and a new video right here. This is Queen of Horror.